All right, here we go. This is recording. All right, this is the second class. Kind of what the first class was Inyanim of B'nai Noach. This is going to be Ger Toshav, which is the advanced version, I guess. Very iyun, right? You guys want very iyun. So here comes very iyun. If you guys are coming in, grab a handout. I don't know if they're in. All right. All right. I want to just lay down a couple principles, okay, before we start, or as an introduction. Ger Toshav, in very simple terms, is one Sugia. It's one Sugia through every piece of Torah you will ever come across. Meaning, does it exist in Halacha? Yes. Does it exist in Shas? Yes. Get a handout. Make sure you guys get a handout. Okay. Does it exist in Kabbalah's Sfarim? Yes. Does it exist in Midrash? Yes. There's nowhere where this Sugia doesn't creep in. You will find it everywhere. If there's a miracle to it, it's that it goes over everyone's head. And then when you see how vast the Sugia is, you ask yourself, how did I miss that 20 billion times? So I have a bunch of Sfarim here. We're not going to learn all this, obviously. But if I refer to it, just to show how vast this Sugia is. So, there's no way to start it, and there's no way to end it. It's a constant spiral, because when you pick up pieces from one part of the Sugia, it enhances your comprehension in all the other parts of the Sugia. I mean, I've been at this Sugia daily for 7 years, and I feel like I'm just starting each time. It's never really done. It just keeps growing and growing and growing. I mean, I pointed out a couple things to you earlier today, right? I mean, I've seen that Mishnah Berurah 20 billion times. I never realized, and this is what I was going to tell you, based on our Hilchos Shabbos Chabura. Look in the Mishnah, again, I'm going to point out references, so if it goes in, let it go in. If you want to look it up, but I'm going to point out a lot of things as I speak, just to show you kind of what the Sugia looks like, so you don't have to feel like you have to memorize all that I'm saying. But again, for example, Mishnah Berurah 304, there's three types of avadim, right? There's one who takes on mitzvahs like a woman, Eved Kanani. He's called a Ger Tzedek because he takes on more mitzvahs than 7. Then there's an Eved Kanani who's like a Ger Toshav. Now, what does that mean? Did I say he is a Ger Toshav or like a Ger Toshav? Like a Ger Toshav. Is he a Ger Toshav? No. So is that semantics? No, that's halacha l'maisa. Big difference you'll find between someone that is a Ger Toshav and is like a Ger Toshav. I'm going to come back to these topics. Don't think you have to know it all in one spot. So in the Mishnah Berurah, then, someone who takes on no mitzvahs is, what's the lashon there? Eino Yehudi Gamor. A complete non-Jew. So, but if you back up and look inside the Shulchan Aruch, the explanation of the Mishnah Berurah, it mentions a kuti. Why is it mentioning the kuti? Now, this sounds like I'm harping on this thing for over a week now, but I didn't plan on finding that today until I was doing the shir. So the kuti is someone who doesn't have proper Kabbalah for his mitzvahs. Again, these are Iker terms. You need to learn that word Iker terms. Meaning when I say Kabbalah, personal acceptance, that's not my vernacular. That is lashon from the Sugia. You have to know that there is something called Kabbalah. And then the entire machlokus in Ger Toshav is the Kabbalah. And again, I'm going to explain these. Let this be an introduction. So the Kuti does not have a proper Kabbalah. He's some guy who showed up saying that he holds by 7 laws, and he didn't take a proper Kabbalah, no proper Beis Din. You have no reason to disbelieve him. He has a big shirt that says, "Hi, I'm a happy Noahide." Right? That's what his shirt said. And there's no reason to think that he's some kind of notzri, which is not the same guy who's considered the Eino Yehudi Gamor. He has no mitzvahs. If you look in the Mishnah Berurah there, again, this is Mishnah Berurah 304, the Shulchan Aruch 304, Baruch Chaim, you'll see there's a big nafkamina of who is a Shabbos goy. The latter, the Eino Yehudi, is a Shabbos goy, mamish, like the etzim of Amir La'akum. The kuti, not so much so. There's reason to suggest that he is like a Ger Toshav. Notice I said like a Ger Toshav. Because the semantics of the Sugia are everything. And again, I encourage you to look these sources up. If you want to look it up now, you don't have to. But if you're curious, when I say something, look it up. So we see that there are dargas amongst the nations. Different dargas. What's an Eino Yehudi? Again, to quick Chazara, what's an Eino Yehudi Gamor? No mitzvahs, no Kabbalah, nothing. His name is Peter at the hotel. He's the bellhop.
Does that mean he accepts no mitzvahs or he's giving no mitzvahs?
He is Lagamre Agoy. He is wearing an I Love Yeshu shirt at the hotel.
Does that mean that he's not high in the 7 mitzvahs?
Everyone's chayiv in the 7 mitzvahs, but he doesn't know that. He never heard of 7 mitzvahs. He has no clue. So now the power went out in the hotel, and you go up to our friend Peter, and you say, hi. It's kind of, it's hot in here. Right? Mir la'akum. Now, if Peter turns out to be a kuti, and he's wearing his happy I'm a Noahide t-shirt, then you have simanim not to treat him like an Yehudi Gamor. He's wearing a happy I'm a Noahide shirt, right? Now, you don't know if it's a true thing. He doesn't take Kabbalah by you. But now there's a big nafkamina. Is he going to be a Shabbos Gui for you? You see the difference? Now, take these klalim, and you plug this in through the entire Ger Sugia wherever it appears. This is just a snippet. So you look, again, I'm going to bring in just a lot of different things, kind of random. Let's look at the famous machlekes between the Rambam and the Ravid and Ger Toshav. In other words, you would turn to Asuri Bia. I don't know if you have your Rambams in front of you. Want to get your Rambams in front of you? You would go to Asuri Bia, 14, 7, 8, and 9. If anyone wants to read kind of quickly and loud through 7, 8, and 9, and make a hefsek between the end of 7, the end of 8, and obviously the end of 9. Go ahead, someone read. I'm going to interrupt you and point out a lot of the different nafkaminas. Huh? 14. Yudalad.
Is it who Ger Toshav? Is that goy shekiba alav shalo ya'avod avodah zarah?
Stop. What's a goy? What's kibel? What is Ezehu Ger Toshav? Did the Rambam write Ezehu Ger Toshav?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, the Gemara did. He copied it.
Yeah, he copied and pasted.
Yeah.
From where? This is one of the big makor of the whole sugya. Like, this is gold standard. So the people think, oh, the Rambam's this, Rambam's that. Rambam's nothing. Samadad, it says, Ezehu Ger Toshav, Kol Shekiba Alav Bifnei Gimel Chaverim, Shalol Avodah Avodas Kol Chavim, Dieter Rebbe Meir. I thought the Rambam wrote it. I guess the Rambam didn't write it. What does Kabel mean? What does it mean he was Kabel Zion mitzvahs? Does that really mean just he accepted 7 mitzvahs? Or is it Kabbalah? It's Kabbalah. Right? What is the entire essence of the Brisa in the Avodah Zorah 64b that all Ger Toshav is predicated on? Listen to Avodah Zorah 64b. Ready? This Brisa is one of the 4 main makoros in the entire Shas on Ger Toshav. Like if there was a Masechta Gerim, which there is a Masechta Gerim, I'm talking about Ger Toshav, this would be it. If there was one central Merkaz place of Ger Toshav, this is it. Avodah Zorah 64b. Ezehu Ger Toshav. Sound familiar?
Yeah, sure.
Kol shekiba alav bifnei gimel chaverim shalol avodah avodas kol chavim divrei Rebbe Meir. Chachamim omrim kol shekibel. What does a kibel mean? Kabbalah. Kabbalah. Just call it Kabbalah. It's a proper technical term. It does not mean accepted. Some rabbi didn't write that. That is a technical ikr term. You see a difference? It's an ikr term, which means you don't translate it. It's just a thing. He taught Kabbalah. On what? Sheva mitzvahs shekibu leim b'nei noyich. And the third opinion, acherem omrim, elu lo ba'al l'chlal ger toishiv, ela ezehu ger toishiv, ze ger sha'oichon avelis, shekibu alav dekayim, kol mitzvahs amoris b'torah chutz me'isr avelis. Where's that from? How many of you have ever read the Chumash? Parshas Rei, Perek Yud Dalet, Pasuk Kaf Aleph. It's a mitzvah to give the nevela to the ger in your gate, and a mitzvah, if he's not a ger in your gate, to sell it to a nachri. Do you hear all the jargon?
Yeah.
That's my point, is that the sugya is nothing but jargon. And understanding the symmetry of the jargon, you will understand the entire sugya, because no one deviates from the jargon. And the jargon works every single time. So when people say, oh, You're wrong, Rabbi Katz, because there's no Ger Toshav today. You're talking about a Ger Toshav Jubilee, probably in reference to Erechim 29a, which is talking about an Evid. Today's Happy I'm a Noahide t-shirt guy is not an Evid. No one will call him an Evid. He's a Chasidi almost Olam. You see how the Iker terms work together. Then there's the fourth day. Miyachdin etzlo yayin. We can store wine with him. Now that's kind of a chiddush, isn't it? That you can keep kosher Jewish wine in the same room by a non-Jew. He's guarding your wine. It's not yayin nesach. Now you can't keep your wine at his house because Uncle Fred is an akum. Uncle Fred will touch the wine and it becomes treif. So here's a quick question. Again, we're just going to bring in a lot of different things. There's no central theme other than Ger Toshav. Why is he allowed to be miyachid with your wine? Any ideas? Number one, is this deraisa? The yayin nesach today, is that deraisa? No, it's not deraisa. Why not?
They're not using it for libations?
Right, because why? The level of avodah zarah was by the Sheva nations of Canaanites. So today, there's no one that's running around with a "Hi, I'm a happy Canaanite" t-shirt, right? So avodah zarah is gone the way it was, on terms of that isser. What is usser is stam goy. Again, is that me saying those words? Stam goy, or is that an ikr term? Ikr term. You can look it up in the Rambam. By yayin nesach stam goy oved avodah zarahu. That is an ikr. That is not some guy's opinion. Not my opinion, not the Rambam's opinion. It's an ikr, which means it's copied and pasted, which means it doesn't need thought into or translated. It needs applied. So stam goy oved avodah zarahu. So stam goyim today are considered like mamish idolaters. So if a Christian comes and touches the wine, we would not drink that wine. So the Rabbanim were not geyser, this gezerah, on two kinds of human beings. A Yishmaelite, why not an Ishmaelite? And is an Ishmaelite my word, or is that an Iker term? Iker term. Why is it an Iker term? Because there's a darga of goy called Ishmaelite. Did you know that? There's a darga. It's not a nation. It's not a son of Abraham. Okay, it's not any of these things. It's a darga of goy. What's the siman of his darga? He has bris milah? Yes, he is bris milah. Does he have priya? No. So he's not a kosher bris milah. Is he considered oral or moil? Oral. It's considered oral. So therefore, a goy that's not oral is a higher level Ger Toshav that has more schuyas than this Ishmaelite. So the Ishmaelite can be around the wine. Why? Because it doesn't require the higher levels of Kabbalah. How do we know that he's not considered Stam Goy, Oved Avodah Zarahu? Because they have a book called the Quran, and that book talks about one God. And that's enough. It's enough, most Bedi Evid, to say that first, at least he's not a mamish avodah zoranik. Because what's the chashash? We don't care if he's kosher. He's considered a min. He's a heretical Noahide. So, but in terms of this mitzvah here, it doesn't matter if he's a heretical Noahide. All I know is he's not going to do libations with the wine. Now, that doesn't make it lecharchila, go out and find your Arab friends and have wine with them. What we're saying is, do you have to nafkamina, do you throw the wine out or not? And there's another kind of darga of non-Jew that fits in this category. You can see this on the Shach. I think it's 128.1 in Yeridea, this whole Sugia, if I remember correctly. If I'm off, pardon me. And the Shach says a Ger Toshav. So now the Sugia gets, here we go again. What does it mean, Ger Toshav? In fact, let's look that up. Let's not rely on our own opinion. Ready? It's better to look things up. Let's see here. Shulchan Aruch 128. Yeah, here we go. Shulchan Aruch 128:1. Ready? Dim makom sheyesh bo yayin, and is yachid ovid koichavim sham. Sound familiar? That means that brisa is halacha l'maisa. Number one. Oivid koichavim shenis yachid ima yayin afilu b'rishuseinu afilu shamuetis asur b'hana aval mi shenai delanu she'enu oivid avoidis koichavim mutter liyachid yayin itzlo b'rishuseinu lizman muyit. Right? Look in the shach. I think it's a shach. Okay, what does the shach say? Kagon, Ger Toshav, and Ishmaelites, Yishmaelim, Tor, Rashba, Rambam. So there's something called a Ger Toshav, who Mastama can be around Jewish wine. What is a Ger Toshav? In fact, let me get the Beis Yosef on this one. This is a great Beis Yosef. Okay, Beis Yosef, ready? Everyone knows the whole thing. Shulchan Aruch Beis Yosef, right? Yishmaelites, lag ovdi avodah zarah hein, omot liyachid itzlon avol lo lafkid. Zeb poshim amashin zbar simin 124. She Yishmaelim dinam shaveh leger Toshav. It does not say that they are your great, fantastic, righteous, super duper Ger Toshav non-Jew. It says they are dinam shaveh leger Toshav. Afilu hachi sharam perak asoicher lo ktav kain ela lahalacha kivan. Okay. Now, that means in this brisa, in Avodah Zorah 64b, there are 4 levels we said. Remember? Kabbalah to not do idols, which is another way of saying rejecting shituf. Does everyone know what shituf is? Shituf is basically Christianity. It's not Avodah Zorah mamish because they believe in God. But they won't say that. They always say it through an intermediary. So it is mutter to believe in shituf by the nations. Huh?
Isn't that what Ikar Avodah Zarah is?
No, Ikar Avodah Zorah is a Canaanite. That is the Ikar Avodah Zarah. That is not shituf. That is to say, I have left God completely. Right? So today, shituf, the world's gone religious, and they have religion, which is shituf. If Christianity was Avodah Zorah, you would not be able to have any financial exchange with any non-Jew on the planet, because the money would become idolatrous. Right? See Bava Kama 38a. What is one major function of the Sheva Mitzvahs B'nai Noach, which is another way of saying Ger Toshav? You want your Canaanite neighbors back in the day to take on the Sheva Mitzvahs. Because Mastama, I guess it was after Sencherev, because otherwise you can't have Canaanites living in the land of Israel unless it's a complicated Sugia. But the bottom line is you cannot do business with an idolater. Now the money becomes idolatrous, right? But if they take on 7 laws, become Ger Toshav, and the whole thing about shibud and tax collecting, then it's one financial system and it's not a problem. But with today's religion, it's shituf, and therefore it's not Avodah Zorah. And it's mutter for B'nai Noach to engage in shituf. One example of a Jew, according to the Iker. What is the Iker of a Jew? Remember, every Sugia has got different Ikarim of what one is. In Hilchos Shabbos, a goy is one who does malacha. In Yayin Nesach, what's a goy? Stam of Avodah Zorah. Right? So it depends on what you're looking at it as. What is a Jew? A Jew is someone who stood at Sinai and rejected Avodah Zorah, afilu b'shituf. That's what a Jew is, according to that sugya. So the non-Jews have one of 7 laws to reject Avodah Zorah, right? One of the 7 laws is to not be an oived Avodah Zorah. That does not include shituf. So the difference between, mamish, it's a chiddush gadol, between a Christian who's a good Christian and a Noahide, no joke, could come down to just belief in who is the Messiah. One says it's you-know-who. The other one says either nobody, somebody, Rabbi Shvendrik, whoever. The bottom line is they're both shituf. They both don't transgress the 7 laws. And if they don't do the 7 laws with kavana, they're just considered one not commanded in doing. So shituf isn't ma'akiv anything for most practical intents and purposes. So the Muslim is a Baal shituf. He's in shituf. And the avodah zarah, by the wine, shituf is not the same thing. Therefore, the Ishmaelite is considered not kosher, but he can be around the wine. But in a different darga, not everything comes down to wine. There are 4 opinions in the Brisa. Remember the 4 opinions in the Brisa. What's the first opinion? Reject shituf, avodah zarah shituf, with Kabbalah. Then the question becomes, can you do that today? Can a goy reject shituf today? And if so, how? What does he do? The answer is Kabbalah. So of the Chazal, nobody argues about Ger Toshav existing. When the people say this, they say there's no Ger Toshav today. That's not actually true, Lafi, where they're at in the discussion. Because Chazal clearly say, Ezehu Ger Toshav, who's a Ger Toshav, and it never mentioned Yovel. So then what's the question of Chazal? Or better yet, what is the Machlekes Rishonim? To remove ourselves from Chazal and go towards the Rishonim. The only question, or Machlekes amongst the Rishonim, Kol Shekein the Achronim, is there Kabbalah today? How do we do Kabbalah? Can we do Kabbalah? Do we officiate Kabbalah? Should they do Kabbalah? Do they have to do Kabbalah? What do they get for Kabbalah? And the opinions are many. Now think about this very carefully. Does that mean that they shouldn't do Kabbalah just because you don't know what they get for it? No one says it's bad to do Kabbalah. So the non-Jew has an inyan to reject avodah zarah shituf. The Pakad Yitzchak, and one of the Rosh Hashivas Panovich, I forget which one, it's in my Sefer Lukutim on this, is that, and the Lubavitcher Rebbe says this as well, there's something called the 7 laws of Noah, right? So there's something else called the 7 laws Ger Toshav. Meaning, are you doing 7 laws as a Ben Noach? What's the nafkamina? Shituf. Your avodah zarah is not a kosher avodah zarah. Rejection of. Now, should that non-Jew reject avodah zarah, afilu b'shituf? He now is rejected avodah zarah, shomer against avodah zarah, just like a Jew at Sinai. That's called Ger Toshav. The former was called Bnei Noach. So there's a nafkamina between Bnei Noach and Ger Toshav. Now, is that a klal? Yes and no. Because the klal changes based on where you apply the Sugia. For example, in the Ritva, in Makos 9a, which we have here, conveniently enough, this is one of your 4 gold standard sources. Yevamos 48b, Makos 9a, Krisos 9a, avodah zarah 64b. This is one of the main ones. Makos 9a. And should be a Mishnah. There it is. Av, goyla al yedei ben, v'ben goyla al yedei av. You understand that? This is about someone kills someone accidentally, right? Hakul goylin al yedei Yisrael, v'Yisrael goylin al yedei hen. Chutz meger toshav. Simple enough? The ger toshav ain't a goyle ela al yedei ger toshav. Huh? A ger toshav is only exiled by a ger toshav. How many? Is it one ger toshav talking to himself? So how does it work? When you get to 9a, you see there's only one way to understand the sugya. How many ger toshavs is it talking about? 2. And then the whole discussion: is there more than one kind of ger toshav? So then they'll say there's no ger toshav till Jubilee, and then that's just a confused person. Why? Because the Brisa of avodah zarah 64b will tell you there are 4 shitas of ger toshav. So how could we have 2 ger toshavs in Makos 9a, assuming it's not a yovel ger toshav? How many of you have ever heard of an Ishmaelite? And he's shavet in din to a ger toshav, correct? And he's considered still an akum, correct? Because he's still oral. Now, the Rambam holds that you can remove the title, status of oral by becoming a proper Ger Toshav, synonymous with Chasid Amos Ha'olam, i.e. a Lechatchila Noahide. Read Rambam 14:7, please, in a Surah Biyah. Again from the start.
Ger Toshav. Zeh goy shekibel alav shelo ya'avod avodah zarah. Im shar hamitzvos shenistavu b'nei Noach. Lo mal v'lo tava.
You see that? Look at all the jargon that we covered in the last 20 minutes, how it's packed inside that one mission of the Rambam. Right? He's not Mal, not Tavel. Yet he's considered Ger Toshav with Kabbalah, and he's considered Chasid Amos Olam. That guy is a Ben Olam Haba. Read Hilchos Malachim, chapter 8, halachas 10 and 11. Yeah. Stop. That is a mitzvah. Halacha Moshe Sinai. Chal, even today, we have a mitzvah, one of the 613, or smachta, to bring Sheva mitzvahs awareness to the Goyim. L'chol boy oilam. The Noahide campaign is that, if you get it right. Keep going. And those that don't keep it are killed. So today we don't have based in, so we strongly coerce them that they should do it. If we had Yad Techifa on Eretz Yisrael, it'd be a little bit of a different nafkamina. Go ahead. And those that are Kabbalah, them, right, is Ger Toshav B'Kol Makom. What does Kabbalah mean? But this is where, if anyone misunderstands the Sugia, it's right there. Does the Rambam mean Kabbalah like we can do it today? Or does he mean Stam, like Mikabel, without a proper Kabbalah? Like a half-proper Kabbalah? Or does he mean Kabbalah in the time of Yovel? Big question, isn't it? And then Rambam's not going to tell you. So then you'll have people saying, oh, the Rambam's simple. It means Yovel. There's like one kind of Ger Toshav. Is there one kind of Ger Toshav? I thought we've seen at least two. And then if it is more than one kind of Ger Toshav, do we have the authority to make a based in for Kabbalah today? Or do they even need a proper based in? Keep reading.
Where do you say two?
What's that?
Where do you say two Ger Toshav?
No, an Ishmaelite or a Yovel. Ishmaelite is Shaven Din to Ger Toshav. So there's at least two. Right? Keep going.
Where's it brought down by the Ishmaelite?
What's that?
Where's it brought down by the Ishmaelite?
128.1. What?
That the Ishmaelite was
It was your idea 128.1.
Where is it brought down for?
Huh?
Where is it brought down from?
You can store wine with him in your house, and it's not considered yain nesa. He's not a stam goy, but feed the yain.
Is that the one from his Bodhizah?
Huh?
Is that the one from his Bodhizah?
That's the fourth opinion that Bryce there. Yes. The question about Vodazor 64b is which you can, for the sake of this class, we can say there's four Ger Toshavs. Right? There's the Ishmaelite who has no Kabbalah. There's one that eats the Vela. There's one who the 7 laws only, and then there's one who rejects Shituf. 4 different worlds. It's not a machlekes. It's a different universe, each one. And we've seen that, right? Keep reading. So Ramos would say at least before 3 people you got a makabel. Go ahead. Right. So now he's bringing the whole circumcision thing. Right. We're gonna back that in a second. Keep going. But he who takes on 7 laws and is careful to do them. Now here's already 2 different kinds of Ger Toshav. You have an Evid, and he can't be a Shabbos goy, yada yada. Is he careful to do the 7 laws? No, he didn't do it for the sake of Makabel Malchus Shamayim. But for someone who has got the happy I'm a Noahide shirt, you can, and he says, I'm careful to do them, he did it from his own cheshik to do the 7 laws. That's why I mentioned circumcision in the first part, and here he's saying someone who's careful to do them. They're 2 different kinds of Ger Toshav. Keep going. And that's how you know the difference. The righteous one is synonymous with Chasidi Amos Olam, and the Eved, you'll never see Chasidi Amos Olam. Right? Finish the halacha. And he has a Chelek Olam Haba. That's the nafkamina. Some guy who you make into your slave, can you honestly say he has the same level of Olam Haba as someone who loves God, pursued God, and became a Chassid Amos Olam? Not the same level. Go ahead. And that's the big nafkamina. The slave doesn't even have the right kavanah. We know that. You can't, unless he's a navi like bigger than Moshe, which he's not. How would a slave who you picked up with the shuk and you take him home and he's going to say, you know what, I was thinking, I'm going to do the Torah, the mitzvahs like Moshe Rabbeinu commanded. He's not saying that. But the happy Noahide shirt guy, he will say that. He went on noahide.org and he read, you got to do it like Moshe Rabbeinu said in the Torah. Big difference in how they came on to it. Go ahead. Okay. All right, so now go back to Surah Biyah 14, 7, 8, 9. And reread 7. Alright, so everyone says that a Ger Toshav is a resident alien dweller in the land of Israel. Is that what the Rambam said? Or does it say he's mutter to live in Israel? Big difference. He's allowed. Not saying he is one who lives in Israel. Now look at all the different jargon terms that you've seen in that one halacha. Right? We went on a little tour here for 25, 30 minutes. Now do you see how jam-packed that one Mishnah is? Yeah? None of those words are stam. You've seen those words now in how many different places? Avodah Zorah 64b, by the wine, different Rambams, right? Read now 8. Does that mean there is no Ger Toshav? He just said Aim Makabel Ger Toshav El Zman She'yovel Noyeg. Huh? Did the Rambam write that himself? Erechim 29a. What is the subject of Erechim 29a? Huh? Which one? A slave. It's a Yovel slave. So can we compare the righteous happy Noahide with a Yovel slave? No. No, they're different worlds. Now, how do we know that? Before we read, if you want to say that by the righteousness, it's the Kabbalah that's ma'akiv, right? Yeah. What does makabla mean? I'll tell you what it doesn't mean. It doesn't mean we accept him. Mekablin is an ikar term. It means forced Kabbalah on someone. Right? So we have let's say this is we're gonna have a minyan here for Shabbos, and we brought in a slave from Syria to be our Shabbos goy slave thing. Okay, and it's a time that's allowed to do it. Okay. Now, we'll say, we don't want the Syrian guy to make us coffee on Shabbos morning, right? That's an av malacha. So we force him to take on the 7 laws. We say, you are now a 7 law follower, Mr. Slave person. We make him, mekablin. So now if you treat him poorly, you just did an Isser Deraisa of like don't taunt the Ger Toshav. He didn't ask for to be some Noahide. You made him. You went and bought him. You brought him here, and he's now you are makabling him. You said you will be makabel. You have Kabbalah now. That kind of Kabbalah we don't have till Yovel, says the Rambam. Now that makes a little more sense, doesn't it? Are we going to go around to the shuk looking for people that we're going to makabel them to take them home? But if Israel had the kifa on the land of Israel, and we had people that wanted refuge here, and they came from Syria, and they said, look, I don't want to die in Syria. Can you help me out? I say, okay, look, you can be a sachir. I need someone to help build my merpesit. But look, you got to keep the 7 laws, because you can't have an Oved Avodah Zorah in the land of Israel. And we're machmir. Why are we machmir? Because he cannot be an Oved Avodah Zorah in the land of Israel, correct? So what's the chumrah? Reject shituf with Kabbalah. See how it always goes back around again? So you have to make sure that he's not an Avodah Zarah, Nick. So now it's a proper based in. Is that based in the same based in as some Noahide saying, I want to be a happy Noahide? No.
Why do the Rambam says Ger Toshav and super things?
Because he is. How do I know here he's talking about the Evid?
Well, how do you know he's not? How do you know he's trying 2 different ideas?
What does makablin mean? You never say the word makablin in that respect by the righteous one. Now you're going to take a look at 7, the previous halacha. It's makablin, but you were not makablin him. He was makablin himself.
You're saying the verb is a different verb.
Yeah. Now look at halacha tes out loud.
Evid hanil kaf min hagoyim, ein omrim lo ma'ar isa shivasa, ela omrim lo rizoncha shetikais b'chal avdei Yisrael v'siyah mina kasherim olo. Imratza modin lo ikrei hadas miktas mitzvos kalos v'chamuros v'anshav v'scharan tosh modin ezager. Umat bilin oso kager modin oso kishehu babayim. Im lo ratza lekabel gaglim alav kol shneim asar chodesh moko lagoyim. Ratza lekaymo yaser alkein. Im hisna imo mitchilash lo yemul mitbo ela yikia Ger Toshav. Mutter lekaymo v'avodah so kishehu Ger Toshav. Ve'eno kaymin eved kazeh ela b'zman hayovel.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Read the very last sentence.
Right.
We're not makablin Ger Toshav elazman yovonoyig.
Right.
Who's he talking about? An Evid. So then, when you look at the Sugia, throughout the entire Masorah, every single time that it says, Ein Makablan Elzman Yovonoyeg, what's it talking about? An Evid. And that's not my opinion. Go look it up. You'll see it every single time. Let's prove it. Hilchos Shabbos, 304. Shabbos Goy. Hold on 1 second. Eino Yehudi Gamor, right? About who can be your Shabbos Goy or not, right? Aval im kibel alav sheva mitzvahs, halo hu ger toishev asur lasos malach Yisrael af lemi she'ino rabo. See the word kabel?
Yeah.
What does kabel mean? That's the question. Is it a Kabbalah Jubilee? Or is it Stam Kabbalah? Or is it like an Ishmaelite Kabbalah? Which Kabbalah is it? Then he says, look at the Rambam, Perak Yodalit, Hilchos Zoribia, the Ima Kablan Ger Toshav, is Manshin Yovonoyeg, V'chein Eved She'ino Ratzu L'Kabel Alav Mitzvahs Kiim Sheva Kamo Ger Toshav. Gam Kini Makablin Osov is Manshin Yovonoyeg. V'rayvid Sham Choylek Al Zeh. They always brought the Eved.
They say Gam Kain Eved, not exclusive Eved.
Wait a minute.
Didn't you just read Gam Kain Eved?
No. Right, because there is a... If I have a worker in my house from Syria, not necessarily is he an Evid, but he's a Sachir. And therefore, if he took on the 7 laws, I could make him take on the 7 laws, right? So we don't makablim today. We don't take refugees and then say, okay, if you take on the 7 laws. What's your question?
I'm just asking about the Rambam's lashon in Halakha Tet when he says "Be'in Mekaymin Eved Kazeh Ela B'Tzman Yovel." He says Mekaymin.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
seems. Well, I'm not saying he said that. I'm just saying it's special.
So let's find out where he said it from. Where's the Makor of the Sugia? Remember, it's always an Iker term. 99 out of 100, it will be an Iker term. Yevamos 48b. Ready? Halokeach evid mina akum v'lo ratzalamu megagal imo ad yud beis chodesh lo mal choizer mocher lo avdei koichavim. It's a machlekes nadir to Rapapa. Command a lo Rabbi Akiva the ik Rabbi Akiva amar ein makaimin amar lo Rapapa afilo tema Rabbi Akiva hani mili heichlo paska the milsei. I will heichlo the paska the milsei paska amar Rav Kahana amar Yisrael Shmaisa coming to Rav Zvid. That's the end of that. The solution from Yevamos 48b.
What does it mean?
That's the question. It doesn't mean anything. You cannot literally understand this. A goy that learns Torah is chayav misa. Is that literal? No. Can you learn it literal? No. You got to look it up and find out what it means. So we have it. We are prepared to find out what that means. We are in the Torah 267. That's the Shulchan Aruch. Where's that? Shulchan Aruch. Where's the Torah? 267. 4. The source of the Sugia that you're asking about is 267. 4. Ready? Taken from Yevamos 48b. Remember, all copy paste. All of it. Halokeach evid gadol min agoy chayav lamulo miad. V'asur l'kaimo oral ela im king kano be'erev Shabbos be'en shmashes v'lo he speak lamulo mekaimo oral osu Shabbos v'achar kach molo miad v'im kishakano hitna imo al manash lo lamulo mutter l'kaimo v'ha da'asur l'kaimo kishakano stam dafka kishalo nisrat merlam nis gayer aval im nisrat lis gayer v'chazer bo megago imo shnayim esr chodesh ulay yachzor l'daso risho v'im lo chazer tzarich l'mechora nogoy acher shnayim esr chodesh zehu Rashi. Aval the Rav Hai Havi Ivcha Kanu Stam Misrat Lamulo Ela Shadoicha Oso Miyom Yom Asur Lishosel Vetzrich Lamochol Miyad Lagoy Ve'im Amar Vehedia Sheino Ratzolimul Mutter Lishvoso Shnai Mr. Chodesh Ulai Yipsehu Shiamul. That's the halacha. What does it come down to? I went and I bought a slave in the shuk. And it's a question of, do I have to make a stipulation? Remember stipulation? Same kind of thing. Right? Same concepts. So I stipulate, I will only take you home if you promise to take Mila. Now, there's two ways of understanding the Sugia. When you look in Yevamos 48b, Rashi understands it one way, then another way. In the post-game, they understand it two ways. And it comes out Lamaisa. Lamaisa, Lamaisa. We paskin like the Ravid on this Sugia. Now, you're going to ask me where that Ravid comes from. Hold on. The Ravid goes like Rashi. And Rashi says, today, in the Medinas, we don't have slaves. But what they're considered, because there is no slavery. We're not going to go buy a slave in Uruguay. Maybe you can, but whatever. It's like that you stipulated beforehand that he would not take Mila. Meaning you understood that he was not going to take Mila. Here's a side point. Why is it usher to maintain a goy who's oral by you? And I think it's the Shach that says this. We learned it from Avram Avinu, that when he took bris milah, he also circumcised the vadim in his household. That's halach l'maaseh. So then the Ravid's position is this idea that we don't have a vadim today. We have sachir, workers, hired workers, and it's like you stipulated, and that's why it's mutter. Otherwise, it wouldn't be mutter. So if we go by the Ravid, the Rambam is saying, we don't do this today. You cannot keep an Evid by you today. Why not? Because the Rambam would say, how is it mutter to have an Evid by you? He asks you to get circumcised and to take on mitzvahs of a woman, or 7 laws, correct? That's called either like Ger Toshav or Ger Toshav. There's no Ger Toshav today. Why? According to the Rambam, now we have to find out why. Yovel would only say that we have the power to do it. What's the chisaron by today? You, the Jew, don't have permission to go converting people in Uruguay. Because he holds that the Ger Toshav is Lashon Gior. You went to Uruguay and started converting people. Are you going to go converting people?
Why not?
You want to get killed? You're a Jew in exile. That's halacha l'maisa. You don't go into foreign countries converting people. Right? The Rambam will say, and look, it's not deraisa. But he's going to say, until we have the upper hand, and even if you did convert him, are you strong enough of a basin to know that he's not an Oved Avodah? What did you accomplish? Nothing. So Rambam says, Ad Yovel Yovel Noyeg, we don't do it.
He doesn't have Kabbalah. I mean, he can't do Kabbalah.
We don't have an infrastructure to know that for sure that he rejected Shituf.
So it just comes down to a basin.
Comes out, and that's what I told you. Machlokes Rishonim is what? Based in and Kabbalah. That's all they're arguing about. So what does the Ravid say? We are not doing a Gior here. Don't call it a Gior. Yes, it's called Ksak Geras technically when he takes on the 7. But it's not a Gior. So now where's the source of the Machlokes Rambam and Ravid on this whole, can we make a slave today or not? We saw in 267.4. Look in Rambam 14.8. Isuri Bia.
Should I read it?
Yeah.
Ger Toshav elo b'zman she'yovel noy. V'b'zman she'azeh afilu kiva kol Torah kula chutz v'tiktuk echad im kabel mitzvah.
Read Ravid.
Alright. Gemara Bram. Das zeh ha'machaber chasum lo perish mahu im kabel Ger Toshav elo b'zman she'yovel noy. Mahin mitzvahs Ger Toshav hu she'ein moshivin oso b'sof ha'ir. Darshina b'sifrei amcha yeshev lo ba'ir atzma b'mitzvah his l'hachyoso t'chsiv l'chai achicha.
The most stringent Ger Toshav law is mitzvah l'chiyuso. A mitzvah to sustain him. That's only when there's man yovel. We have 8 minutes. Keep going.
Mekone eved ivri ke'avos kochavim ke'ela hadinim she'enam noegim bo ela b'zman she'yovel noeg.
So those were mitzvahs that we need yovel in order to carry out with the Ger Toshav. I.e., we can't do them today. Go ahead. You can have a Ger Toshav in Israel today. Israel's not holy. We're in exile. There's no Ezekiel's temple right now. So there's no Isser of Avodah Zarah on that level because there's no Kedusha in the land. She described it. Go ahead. Mitzvah l'chiyuso is the chumrah we can't do today. Go ahead. We can't trouble the tzibor today to take care of Ger Toshav. We're not strong enough. No, Shav we're not able to. Miata. Now we do maintain those. Here's your answer. Here now today we do maintain them. Go ahead. Now look how fantastic this is. Go ask the Stamazoi guy in the street, is there a Ger Toshav today? What are they going to say? No. Why? They're going to say, Rambam says not to Yovel Noyeg. And then the smart guy in the room will say, but the Ravid's Chaylikos on this. Were they talking about Noahides? We're talking about slaves. So the entire machlekes between the Ravid and the Rambam is brought here, but it takes place in Yom Rodea 2674. Based on Yevamos 48b. So you see how grossly people take it out of context. It had nothing to do with the righteous Noahide. But the Rambam brought it in 14.7 to say, Bia Ezehu Ger Toshav. Why? Different Ger Toshavs. Different levels of Kabbalah. So the Ravid is going to say that the Evid is not a Lashon Gior. You don't call your Evid a convert. You call him an Evid Kanani, who is like either a Ger Tzedek or like a Ger Toshav. But someone who has Kabbalah and accepts Ol Malchus Shamayim, It's a type of gior. You even call it lehid gayer. The Rashba's got a shita. Kul lashon lehid gayer. All ger gamor, a convert, mamish, or lashon ger toshav. It's called ksat geris. It's a partial conversion. So we'll stop there, and we didn't get to the brisker rav, but you have the sheets for the brisker rav. God willing, next week let's start with the brisker rav. You've seen the whole sugya by now. I'm telling you, this is the whole sugya. You're in it. Now you just like whenever you find a ger toshav source, you plug in what makes sense, and you see it'll make sense every single time. And it's not shvach or shver at all. It's always, you're stuck. There's no ger toshav till yovel. All right, we're talking about different ger toshav. Which one? Evid or Reich? I mean, you just go through the progressions. It works out every single time. How can you say an Ishmaelite is a ger toshav? He's an akum, and he's considered oral. We're talking about wine. And by wine, he's shavel din ger toshav. Where's that from? Avodah Zorah 64b. Right? Well, it says that we poskin by a different psak in Avodah Zorah 64b. Well, there's 4 shitas there, and there are 4 different worlds. Your psak was talking about a ger toshav at the time Yovel Noyeg. Got it? It's amazing. So, God willing, let's start with the brisker rav next time. And again, the brisker rav just goes through the entire sugia, and you got to understand how to plug in the parts. Any source you read, number one, that rabbi didn't write that. What did he do? Copied and pasted it. Which means, can you learn it literally? No. You got to look it up. You got to know what the jargon term is every time. So you'll say, but this Ger Toshav was makabel by himself. That's called Kabbalah. It's not called he accepted. Which Kabbalah does he have? Which based in? Which, you know what I'm saying? So every source is packed with the jargon. And just by jumping into the sugya, you get the sugya. You see, do you guys feel like you've seen a little bit of it today? Just by jumping in, you get it. But people don't know there's anything to jump into. So when they stand off on this thing, they want to say that, that's just the Rambam's opinion. Did the Rambam have an opinion on this? No, he copied and pasted the whole thing. So did the Torah, so did the Beis Yosef, so did the Shulchan Aruch, so did the Rosh, so did the Riv, so did Tosfos. Everybody does. That's the sugya of Ger Toshav. It's one sugya. You'll see that in the Midrash. These Gerim Grurim, in the end of days, these evil Gerim Grurim are going to come wearing tefillin. Well, you can call them evil, and it seems evil in the Midrash. But go look in Masechtas Avodah Zarah. I think it's either 20 or 21. Right? What is the Gerim Grurim? People who Megayer themselves, Bisman Israel, is not Makablin. It's someone who just makes Kabbalah because no one's giving him Kabbalah. So it's a halachic term. It's a jargon term. It looks like just some weird random thing, Gerim Grurim. And they're doing this and that. It's copy.